Welcome back to the YouTube classes. In the last part, we have studied about the introduction of locomotion and movement, the general introduction about the different locomotor structures in lower organisms and how lower organisms like movements are present in the human beings, so called amoeboid, then flagellated, along with that the movements of muscles and protoplasmic streaming, how they are present in human beings. All other aspects we have studied in the previous part. We will continue with the further aspects of your NCERT, that is the structure of muscle. Muscles, when I say muscles, our maximum body, it is contributed by these muscles. These muscle fibers are the muscle tissues, they are mesodermal in their origin. Hope you all know about the primary germ layers of embryonic tissue, so called ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm are responsible for the formation of different body organs. So here muscle tissues, they are formed by these mesodermal tissues or mesodermal origin, and around 40 to 50% of our body weight, it is contributed by these muscle tissues. They are responsible for around 40 to 50% of our body weight. Including this muscle fiber, they are having different properties. So let me write the properties one by one. Generally, we know about different properties of these muscle fiber. Let me explain one by one, or let me give you the hint how they are present. We know that, consider this is a muscle piece, this is a piece of muscle, and this piece of muscle, it is we can make it reduction in their size, we can reduce its size by contraction, right? Contraction ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, and here we can make it elastic, ಆ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆಗೆ stretch ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, we can make it elastic. In the same way we can extend it, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ stretch ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ expand ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And here the very important, the transmission of nerve impulses, they should be passed through these muscle fibers so that they are also excitable. By looking at all these property, we have given the naming of the properties. The first one, the muscle fiber, they are called as, their property, one of the properties, contractability. Contractability is the first property. Elasticity is the second property. Third property is they are excitable, and the fourth property is they are extensible, so that they are called as extensibility. Excitability, excitability, so they are excitable, they are contractible, they are elasticable, we can make it elastic, so that elasticity is one of the property. We can expand them, we can extend them. So these are the four very important properties of muscle fiber. Let us study the structure of muscular tissues and the classification of muscles. These muscles present in the human body, they have been classified into three types based on their location, based on their position, and also based on their activity. How they are performing different activity, specifically where they are located and how their position, on that basis we have classified the muscle tissues into three types. The first one is our skeletal muscles, second one visceral muscles, and the third one is the cardiac muscles. These are the three types of muscular tissues present in the human body. Let us go in detail with the structure of the skeletal muscles, visceral muscles and cardiac muscles one by one. The first one, skeletal muscles, they are attached to the skeletal system. In our body, wherever the skeletal system is present, the muscles specially which are attached to the skeletal system, they are called as skeletal muscles. These skeletal muscles, they are almost primary function is our locomotion and movement. Locomotion and movement is the primary function of these Locomotion and movement is the primary function of the skeletal system, because our body, the skeletal system, we can move our body, I can move my hand because it's in my control, it's in the control of my nervous system. If I want to take this pen, I can take it, alva. So that on the criteria, the locomotion and movement, they are under the control of our will. So that these muscular tissues, the skeletal muscles, they are also called as voluntary muscles. They are called as voluntary muscles, important for your CET. Why they are called as voluntary muscles? Because the functions of the skeletal muscles, they are in the control of the will, they are in the control of the nervous system. So when you look into the structure of the skeletal muscles, they are appeared. Somehow itara straighted agiro appearance galna observe martivi. Consider this is the muscle piece. In this muscle piece, you find the presence of number of muscle bundles irutte, and in that muscle bundle we can take a single muscle bundle. In this single muscle bundle, even though there are so many small bundles are also present, if we take a single section of that muscle bundle, we find the alternate patches of some of the dark and light bands here and there, and those dark and light bands, they are also present on these skeletal muscles. Due to the presence of primary and secondary proteins, the dark and light bands are also present on the muscular tissues here and there. On the surface of these skeletal muscles, alternate patches of dark and light bands are also present. These alternate patches of dark and light bands, due to the presence of these dark and light bands, they are called as striated muscles. Why they are called as striated muscles? Because these skeletal muscles on their surface, they are having the primary and secondary proteins. Due to the presence of these primary and secondary proteins, they are called as striated muscles. So we can control the movement, so that they are called as voluntary muscles. Due to the presence of these alternate patches of dark and light bands, they are also called as rough muscles. They are called as rough muscles because on the surface the appearance is so that they are, due to the presence of these alternate patches of dark and light bands, they are appeared as rough in their nature. So that's all about skeletal muscles. The next one is visceral muscles. Visceral muscles, so all voluntary, location anta helidaga all the voluntary skeletal system ge attach agirutte. These visceral organs or the visceral muscles, these visceral muscles, they are attached to the visceral organs of our body, where the visceral organs like intestine agbodu, reproductive tract agbodu, digestive tract, genital tract, alimentary canal. So all kind of tubular organs and visceral part of the body. Consider reproductive tract, alimentary canal. Why they are called as visceral muscles? Because on the presence, based on their location, they are located on the visceral organs of our body, so that they are called as visceral muscles. Alimentary canal. ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. When you look into the structure of these visceral muscles, as that of the striated muscles, as that of the skeletal muscles, they don't have any complete stripes on their surface. So due to the absence of alternate patches of primary and secondary proteins, these muscles, they appear smooth. We cannot control the movement of food inside the esophagus. You cannot control the movement of egg inside the fallopian tube of female reproductive tract. So that these muscles, they are also called as involuntary muscles. Which among the muscles are called as involuntary muscles? Involuntary muscles are visceral muscles. Visceral muscles, they are called involuntary muscles because they are present in the involuntary organs. We cannot control the movement there in the involuntary structures. On the surface, on the inner side of these muscle fibers, the cytoplasm is present, the plasma membrane, everything is present. Nucleus is also present. Uninucleate condition is observable, which means one cell having one nucleus. But when you come for these voluntary muscles, when you come for these skeletal muscles, there are having number of nucleus, multinucleate condition is present in the skeletal muscles. They are having tapering ends, both the ends they are blunted, that is also one of the property of these visceral muscles. They are called as smooth muscles. Due to the absence of the stripes on the surface of its visceral muscles, they are also called as non-striated muscles. Why they are called as non-striated muscles? Because on the surface of these visceral muscles, the stripes are absent, so that they are called as non-striated muscles. Let us move towards these cardiac muscles. The name suggests that the cardiac muscles, they are located in the heart region. The specialized muscles which are present in the visceral organ of the heart, they are called as cardiac muscles. Nowhere else in the body these cardiac muscles are present except heart. Heart is the region which is made up of these cardiac muscles. These cardiac muscles, of course, we cannot control the movement of cardiac muscles, so that they are involuntary in their function. We cannot control the movement of these structures. When you look into the structure of these cardiac muscles, structurally they are slightly different from the visceral muscles and also from the skeletal muscles. See, here I have drawn the branches. These branches, due to the presence of these branches, they are showing the branched appearance. Branched cells are present. The cells, they are branched in their nature. Of course, on the surface also of these cardiac muscles, they are having the alternate patches of primary and secondary protein. Due to the presence of these alternate patches of primary and secondary protein on the surface of these cardiac muscles, we can consider them as non-striated muscles. Stripes present, primary and secondary proteins. What are the structures? Adnala next part alli detailed agi explain madkodtini. Stripes are present, they are branched. In between the cell and cell, we can differentiate specifically the structure of individual cell inside the heart muscle. This is one cell, this is other cell. So due to the presence of the cellular structure and a single nucleus per cell, single nucleus per cell is the condition, is also present. Intercalated disc. Intercalated disc is the special property of these cardiac muscles, where individual cells, they are separated by these intercalated disc. Of course, they are uninucleate. They are uninucleated condition. Branched condition and uninucleate conditions are the two special properties of these cardiac muscles. Along with that, we can make the comparison of skeletal muscles, visceral muscles and cardiac muscle. Somehow stripes are present on the skeletal muscles, so cardiac muscles are like skeletal muscles. Uninucleate condition is present like that of visceral muscles, so they are also showing the property of visceral muscles. These cardiac muscles, they are branched, what is one of the special property, but skeletal muscles and visceral muscles both do not have any branches. Clear? So involuntary in its function, because it is present in the heart region, we cannot control the movement of the heart. Clear? So in the next part, I will take the detailed structure of the skeletal muscles.